Ever get that feeling, like you're wrestling with some monster enterprise software? It's like, who designed this thing? Someone who's never actually used it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Clunky, complex, making simple things feel impossible.
Yeah.
So today we're going deep on something that could actually fix this, finally. Integrating AI into these clunky tools.
Right. Making them less painful, more human. That's the goal.
Exactly. We're talking embedding AI right into the user experience of enterprise software.
Yeah.
And we've got some great insights for this deep dive.
Oh, yeah.
It's from a guide by Standard Beagle Studio, actually.
Okay.
It's called How to Integrate AI in Enterprise UX Tools, a practical guide for product leaders. Quite a mouthful, but really useful stuff.
Sounds like it.
So we want to go beyond the hype with AI, right?
True.
See how it can actually solve these usability issues we all face every day.
I mean, that's the dream, right?
Right. Make these tools we need to use feel as smooth as the apps we actually like using in our personal lives.
Like, why can't work software be that good,
Exactly. And the cool thing is, Standard Beagle lays it out as a step-by-step guide, which we'll follow today.
Perfect, a roadmap.
So first, the big question. Why are we even talking about this?
Yeah, why AI in enterprise UX? What's the problem we're solving?
Okay, so think about those systems you use at work every day. The core software for your job.
Got it.
The guide calls them these, sprawling digital cities.
Oh, interesting.
Built up over years for tons of different users with different needs. Workflows get super tangled.
Yeah, it's a mess.
And the interfaces, often they feel ancient.
Like old internet ancient.
Exactly. It's no surprise the user experience is often terrible. You get frustrated. You're less productive. It's a drag.
And that frustration, it's not just a personal thing, right?
Right.
It impacts the whole business.
Big time. That's where AI comes in. It's not just a cosmetic fix. It can really change how we interact with these complex systems, make them more human.
Okay, I like that.
And, the guide makes a good point. Users today, we've gotten used to really good consumer apps in our personal lives.
Oh, for sure.
That sets a higher bar. We expect our work tools to be just as good.
Smooth, intuitive, just work.
Exactly. And when they don't, people get unhappy. They don't want to use the software.
Right, adoption suffers.
Totally. So the cool thing is how AI can target the specific pain points we all feel. Like just finding information. How many times are you lost in menus, sub-menus, trying to find one simple function?
Ugh, all the time.
This is where AI shines with things like natural language processing or NLP.
Okay, NLP. Break that down for us.
So instead of guessing the right keywords, you type in a normal question, like you'd ask a person.
Like plain English.
Exactly. And the AI, it actually understands what you mean, even if your wording isn't perfect.
Wow. So it's not me having to learn the system's language. It's the system learning mine.
Precisely. And it's not just finding things. What about those repetitive tasks, the ones that suck up your time?
Oh, yeah, the soul-crushing ones.
Right. Machine learning can learn those workflows and automate them for you.
Okay, so I can focus on the stuff that actually needs my brain power.
Exactly. And then there's personalization. Often, enterprise systems treat every user the same, which is crazy.
Like a one-size-fits-all approach to a diverse group of people makes no sense.
Totally. But AI can analyze your role, your past behavior, even what you're doing right now, and adapt the interface for you.
So it's like a custom experience within the same system.
Exactly. And this isn't just about making people happy. It directly impacts the business.
Oh, how so?
So the guide highlights things like increased productivity. People aren't fighting the software, they're getting things done.
Makes sense.
Less time and money spent on training because intuitive systems don't need as much explanation.
Right. Learn as you go.
And happier employees, which means they're more likely to stay.
So lower turnover, happier people, it's win-win.
All right, so we see the why of AI in enterprise UX, but how do you actually do it?
Yeah, that's the key question.
Standard Beagle's step one is identifying the specific UX pain points where AI can really help.
Okay, so diagnosis phase, figure out what hurts.
Exactly. You need a thorough UX audit, figure out where users are struggling.
And how do you do that?
The guide says look at the data, things like error rates, how long it takes to do tasks, where people give up.
Okay, the hard numbers. But you need more than that, right?
You're right. You also need to talk to users, get their feedback, understand why they're struggling.
So data plus the human story behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the guide focuses on 3 areas where AI can really shine. First is high-friction workflows. Those processes that are just way too complex.
Oh, I can think of a few already.
Right. AI can actually streamline those. It analyzes how people use the system, finds patterns, and offers suggestions.
Suggestions like what? Give me an example.
Say you're a project manager, right? You follow a bunch of steps to create a new project.
Right. A whole process.
AI could learn that process and automatically suggest the next step or even fill in some fields for you.
Oh, wow. So it's like it anticipates what I need to do next.
Exactly. Or, for really complex tasks, think of an AI assistant guiding you through.
Like a digital helper.
Exactly. Say you're doing a complex procurement process. The AI can walk you through each step, make sure you don't miss anything.
Okay, that would be super helpful. No more feeling lost in the system.
Exactly. The second area where AI can help is with information bottlenecks. You know, that feeling of knowing the information exists, but you just can't find it.
Ugh. Yes, buried treasure syndrome.
Right. Enterprise systems are notorious for this. So much data spread across different modules.
And the search functions are often terrible.
Exactly. This is where AI-powered search comes in. Using that NLP we talked about, it understands your query even if you use normal language.
No more keyword guessing games.
And it learns from what people click on, so it gets smarter over time. The guide also mentions context-aware dashboards.
Context aware, what does that mean?
So they use AI to analyze your role, what you've done in the past, even what you're doing right now, and they show you the most relevant data.
Okay, so it's cutting through the noise and giving you just what I need.
Exactly. There's an example in the guide about an AI search in a knowledge base.
Knowledge base, like a company's internal Wikipedia.
Yeah, something like that. So you search for a policy, right? The AI doesn't just match keywords, it understands what you're really looking for.
Interesting.
It can even predict related questions you might have based on what other people have asked.
Wow, getting pretty smart.
Right. Okay, the third pain point AI can tackle is training challenges.
Yeah, getting up to speed on these systems can be a nightmare.
Totally. Onboarding new employees takes a ton of time and resources. AI can make it way better.
How so?
Think of interactive tutorials that adapt to how fast you're learning.
Okay, so not just a boring one-size-fits-all thing.
Exactly. And personalized learning paths based on your role and what you already know.
So it's tailoring the training to me specifically.
Precisely. And even automated error correction.
So as I'm learning, it catches my mistakes and helps me fix them.
Right. There's a great example in the guide about an HR system. Imagine an AI assistant that helps you find specific policy documents.
That would be so helpful.
Or it could even automate those onboarding checklists so nothing gets missed.
Okay, that's a real time saver.
Right. And here's the key takeaway. To really understand where AI can help, you need input from both the users and the support teams.
Yeah, the people who use it and the people who fix it when it breaks.
Exactly. Combine those insights, and you can figure out how to use AI most effectively.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you've done your audit, found the pain points. What's next?
Step 2, according to Standard Beagle, is setting clear goals for your AI integration.
Goals, okay. Why is that so important?
Because without clear goals, you risk just doing random AI stuff that doesn't actually help.
Right, AI for the sake of AI, not for solving real problems.
Exactly. So how do you set good goals? The guide breaks it down. First, clarify your desired outcomes. What do you actually want to achieve with AI?
Okay, so what are we aiming for? What problems are we trying to solve?
Right. Do you want to make people more efficient? Improve accuracy? Increase overall satisfaction?
So you need to tie it back to those initial pain points.
Precisely. The guide gives some good examples. If people struggle with complex workflows, your goal could be to reduce the time it takes to complete those workflows.
Okay, make things faster.
Or if key information is getting lost, your goal could be to increase engagement with that information.
So people are actually seeing and using the important stuff.
Exactly. The second part is making those goals measurable. It's not enough to say improve the user experience. You need to be specific.
Okay, put some numbers on it.
Right. The guide mentions things like tracking time on task. Did it get faster to do things after you added AI?
Okay, so you can actually see if it made a difference.
Exactly. You can also track error reduction, adoption rates, and satisfaction scores.
So are people making fewer mistakes? Are they using the AI features? And are they happier overall?
Precisely. So remember that example with the slow knowledge-based search?
Yeah, the Wikipedia thing.
Your measurable goal could be to cut the search time in half, from, say, 5 minutes to 2.
Okay, so you have a clear target to hit.
Exactly. Third step is aligning your goals with the business objectives. It's not just about happy users, it's about how AI can help the entire organization.
So it needs to tie into the big picture.
Right. If AI makes people more efficient, that saves the company money.
Okay, I see the connection.
If it helps sales teams close deals faster, that means more revenue.
Right. And if it leads to happier employees, they're more likely to stay, which saves money and keeps expertise in the company.
Exactly. The guide talks about a sales team struggling with the CRM system. By improving that system with AI, they could close deals faster, directly impacting revenue.
Okay, I see how it all ties together.
Right. Fourth point is setting both short-term and long-term goals.
Okay, so a roadmap for your AI journey.
Exactly. Maybe your short-term goal is to automate one specific workflow within 3 months.
A quick win to show the potential.
And your long-term goal might be to scale AI across the entire organization in 2 years.
So a phased approach, starting small and building up.
And lastly, you need to communicate those goals clearly to everyone involved.
Yeah, designers, data scientists, developers, product managers, everyone needs to be on the same page.
Totally. So why is all this goal setting so important?
It keeps your AI efforts focused and accountable. Make sure you're solving real problems and that you can actually measure your progress.
Exactly. And the pro tip here is to be flexible. As you learn more, you might need to adjust your goals along the way.
Okay, makes sense. So we've got our pain points and goals figured out. What's the next step?
Step 3 is choosing the right AI technologies. This is where it gets tricky.
Yeah, there's a whole AI jumble out there.
Totally. It's tempting to just go with the latest buzzwords, but the guide says you need to choose carefully,
Based on what?
based on those pain points and goals we defined. And it needs to fit with your existing technology.
Right. Not every AI solution will work for every company.
Exactly. The guide says you need to start with your user-centric goals. What problem are you solving? How will the AI actually improve the experience?
So problem first, technology second.
Exactly. And then how well will it integrate with what you already have?
Okay, practicality matters.
Absolutely. So let's look at some popular AI technologies. First, there's natural language processing, or NLP. We talked about it for search, but it can do so much more.
Like what?
It lets people use normal language to interact with systems, makes things more accessible.
Okay, more human-friendly.
Exactly. So besides search, NLP can power chat interfaces. You ask a question, get an instant answer.
Like a smart assistant within the software.
Exactly. And it can do multilingual support so people can use the system in different languages.
Oh, that's huge for global companies.
The guide gives an example of a financial firm using NLP to improve their compliance portal.
Compliance, that sounds complicated.
It is. But with NLP, people can ask questions in plain English and actually find the information they need.
Okay, so it's making a complex system easier to use.
Exactly. Next up is machine learning, or ML.
Okay, ML, what's that all about?
It's all about data. ML lets systems analyze huge amounts of data, find patterns, and make decisions or predictions.
So it's like the system is learning and getting smarter over time.
Exactly. This can do things like predictive analytics, recommending what you might want to do next.
Okay, like those you might also like suggestions on shopping websites.
Kinda, but for work tasks. It can also automate those repetitive tasks we talked about.
Oh, right, like approving expense reports.
Exactly. And it can help guide people through complex processes, suggesting the best next step.
So it's like having an expert looking over your shoulder, helping you along.
Precisely. There's an example in the guide of a logistics company using ML to predict inventory shortages.
Oh, wow, that could save them a lot of trouble.
Big time. Then there's AI chatbots.
Chatbots, aren't those popping up everywhere these days?
They are, and for good reason. In an enterprise, they can provide instant support, taking the load off human help desks.
Okay, so I can get help right away without having to wait for someone to answer the phone.
Exactly. They can handle simple tasks like password resets or giving you access to HR forms.
So basic stuff that doesn't need a human.
Right. They can also guide you through workflows, like onboarding a new vendor.
Okay, so they can be more than just FAQ answers.
And of course, they can answer those frequently asked questions so human agents can focus on tougher issues.
Makes sense.
The guide has an example of a manufacturing company using a chatbot to help with equipment maintenance.
Okay, interesting. How does that work?
Say a machine breaks down. The chatbot can guide the manager through troubleshooting steps, give them access to manuals, all that.
So instant expertise right there on the factory floor.
Exactly. Lastly, there's computer vision.
Computer vision, that sounds pretty specialized.
It is. It basically lets computers see and understand images, like humans do.
Okay, so it's analyzing pictures instead of text.
Right. In enterprise UX, it's used in things like quality control, where it can spot defects faster than humans.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
It can also automate document processing, like extracting data from invoices.
So no more manual data entry.
Exactly. And it's used for visual data analysis, like spotting patterns in medical images.
Oh, wow. That could have a huge impact on healthcare.
Totally. There's an example in the guide of using computer vision to automate insurance claim processing.
Okay, I see the potential there.
So once you know the technologies, you have another choice to make. Buy off-the-shelf AI tools, build your own custom solutions, or do a mix of both.
Okay, that's a tough decision. What are the pros and cons?
Third-party tools are often faster to deploy and might be cheaper upfront.
Okay, so quicker and potentially less expensive to get started.
And a lot of them already integrate with common platforms, but you might not be able to customize them as much.
Right, so they might not fit your specific needs perfectly.
And they might not work well with less common systems. Custom solutions give you the most flexibility.
You can build exactly what you need.
But it's usually more expensive and takes longer.
Okay, so a trade-off between speed and flexibility.
And the hybrid approach is using third-party tools for some things and building custom solutions for others.
So you pick the best option for each specific need.
Exactly. The guide also gives you some criteria to evaluate AI technologies.
Okay, like what?
Scalability. Can it handle your company's growth?
Right, it can't just work for today, it needs to work for tomorrow too.
Integration. How well does it fit with your existing systems?
Yeah, you don't want to have to rebuild everything just to use the AI.
User experience. Is it easy for people to actually use?
Because if it's too complicated, no one will use it.
And data security. Does it meet your company's standards?
Yeah, you can't compromise on security.
And finally, support and maintenance. Do you have the resources to keep it running smoothly?
Right, because AI isn't magic. It still needs care and feeding.
The guide says don't get caught up in the hype. Choose practical solutions that actually solve your problems.
Good advice. So once you've chosen your technologies, what's next?
Step 4 is all about collaboration. You need your designers, data scientists, developers, and product managers all working together.
Yeah, this is a team effort.
Totally. The guide mentions using workshops and having clear roles for everyone. Then you move to step 5, building your AI-powered features, but incrementally.
Incrementally, okay. Why is that important?
The guide says, don't try to do everything at once. It's better to start small, focus on 1 or 2 areas where AI can have a big impact.
Okay, so like a pilot program, test the waters before jumping all in.
Exactly. Maybe you launch an AI-powered search for a specific set of documents.
Something people use all the time where the improvement will be noticeable.
Right, or you automate part of a common workflow, like expense reports.
Okay, so you get some early wins and learn from them before scaling up.
Exactly. And that leads to step 6, which is continuous testing and iteration.
So it's not a set it and forget it kind of thing?
Definitely not. AI needs constant feedback and improvement. You launch a feature, you gather data on how it's performing.
Data like what?
Task completion times, satisfaction scores, error rates.
Okay, the numbers tell part of the story.
And then you need feedback from actual users.
Yeah, what's working for them, what's not.
You can use surveys, usability testing, all sorts of methods. The key is to constantly refine the AI based on real-world use.
So it's an ongoing process, not a one-time fix.
Exactly. Now, the guide does acknowledge that there are challenges to integrating AI into enterprise systems.
Okay, what kinds of challenges?
One big one is data quality. AI needs good, clean data to work properly.
Right, garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. Another is integrating AI with older legacy systems.
Yeah, those can be tough to work with.
And then there's the skills gap. You need people who understand AI to make it work.
So you might need to hire new people or train your existing teams.
Right. But the guide offers solutions too. Invest in data cleaning. Use middleware to connect AI with legacy systems, and partner with external experts if needed.
Okay, so the challenges are real, but they can be overcome.
Exactly. And to show you that it's possible, the guide gives some real-world examples of companies using AI successfully.
Okay, I'd love to hear about those.
First up is Salesforce Einstein.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
It's a good example of AI integrated into a CRM. It analyzes customer data and gives sales teams insights.
Insights like what?
Things like scoring leads, telling them which ones are most likely to close, and recommending the best actions to take with each customer.
So it's like having a super smart assistant helping you sell.
Exactly. And it leads to more engagement with customers and more deals closed.
Okay, that's a tangible result.
Yeah.
What else?
There's Wholesome, a building materials company. They use AI for predictive maintenance in their factories.
Predictive maintenance. So it's like the AI can tell when a machine is about to break down.
Exactly. By analyzing data from the machines, the AI can spot patterns that indicate potential problems.
So they can fix it before it actually breaks and causes downtime.
Precisely. That saves them money and keeps things running smoothly.
Pretty impressive.
Then there's IBM Watson, which is used for knowledge management.
Okay, so it's making company knowledge easier to find.
Exactly. They use NLP so employees can ask questions in plain English and get accurate answers.
No more digging through endless documents.
Right. They have an example of an insurance company using Watson to help employees find policy details.
Okay, so faster access to information, which means they can do their jobs better.
Exactly. And employees were happier because they weren't wasting time searching.
Makes sense. What other examples are there?
LinkedIn uses AI for onboarding new employees.
Okay, interesting.
They have an AI-powered system that guides new hires through all the paperwork and setup.
So it's like a virtual onboarding buddy.
Exactly. It can even answer common questions, which saves HR a lot of time.
And it makes the process smoother for the new employee.
Totally. Then there's Siemens using AI in their ERP systems.
ERP, that's those enterprise resource planning systems, right?
Yeah, the big, complex systems that run a lot of companies.
And how are they using AI?
They have AI-powered dashboards that adapt to each user's role.
So if I'm in finance, I see financial data. If I'm supply chain, I see inventory data.
Precisely. It makes the system much easier to use because you're only seeing what's relevant to you.
Okay, that's really smart.
And finally, there's Google AI doing some amazing stuff with visual data analysis in healthcare.
Oh yeah, I've heard about some of their work.
They're using AI to help radiologists spot patterns in medical images.
Like helping them diagnose diseases earlier.
Exactly. It can detect things that human eyes might miss, which can lead to faster and more accurate diagnoses.
Wow, that's potentially life-saving stuff.
It is, and it also makes the process more efficient because the AI can analyze images much faster.
Okay, these examples are really impressive. It's amazing to see how AI is being used in so many different ways.
It really shows that AI in enterprise UX is not just a future possibility, it's happening now.
And making a real difference for these companies.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's clear that integrating AI into enterprise software is not just a tech trend, it's a fundamental shift.
Yeah, it can change how companies operate and how people work.
Exactly. By focusing on user needs, setting clear goals, collaborating effectively, and continuously improving, organizations can make their systems much better.
More intuitive, more efficient, and ultimately more human.
So, to our listeners out there, as you're using those work tools today, think about where you get frustrated.
Yeah, where are the pain points in your daily work?
And ask yourself, could AI make this better?
And what's the first step you can take to explore that possibility?
That's your deep dive into AI in enterprise UX for today.